Hello
Right, ready.
again. Welcome to another episode of the Messy Draw podcast. Um, we have an amazing guest tonight. Hey Lola.
Hi.
Everyone admire my beautiful friend.
Thank you.
It's a melanin-filled night tonight, so welcome and enjoy the ride.
That's the easiest. Grover got this for me. What are we talking about tonight, Najma?
We are talking about interracial dating. You know, there've been one too many mixed race children filling the streets lately.
Yeah.
In the next what, 10, 20 years?
So I mean, I'm not one to talk.
There. We're gonna come across as hypocrites in some of the things we say, but you know, there's what it is.
We're gonna contradict ourselves. I feel it.
Life is all about contradicting, baby.
Well, okay, straight off the bat, what do you think of interracial dating? Is that like, do you think it's easy? Do you think it's cool? Are you into that?
I mean, obviously, as someone of color, I do not find it as a trend, obviously, and it's becoming more and more popular now. But I think sometimes it's been seen as a trend. It's cool to date someone Black. It's cool to have a different race partner at the moment. But obviously, it shouldn't be cool. It's not something that needs to be cool. Do you know what I mean?
It's not a trend.
Yeah, it's not a trend, exactly. You know, like a couple of years ago, it's very hard to see someone that was like an interracial couple. You know?
Everyone suffered. The Blacks, the Whites, everyone who was dating each other were like, no, you're not allowed.
Exactly. Because I have a friend as well who's Asian and her partner is white, and they get all stares, and like people think it's just black and white, but it's not always just black. Like it's any interracial dating. All interracial dating suffers. We get the hard end of it.
No, what do you think about interracial dating, Najma?
I think go for it. I think it's good to like go with someone that is different and sounds like a candy. And I think that, you know what, expand your gene pool. You know, however, do not. I just irks my soul. People who chase mixed race children, they've been looking at you and thinking, oh, we can make caramel babies. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, like I want to marry a white guy because I want mixed race babies. Like, okay, so when you have the children, what next? Leave the man.
That's the weird part. I don't think anything is wrong with interracial dating. It's just people make it weird.
100%.
You know?
100 people make it weird, especially as a Black girl. Dating is always like, oh, I've always wanted to get with a Black woman. Can't try me. Can't just try me. I'm not something.
You're not food. No, exactly. Honestly, I hate that when they'll be like, oh, I've never been with a Black woman before.
You know what I mean? It's like,
and okay, it's not gonna start with me, sir.
I was like, yeah, no minute. Good luck to the next sister.
I'm like, well, I hope you find the girl that'll let you try her. I'm not something you try, mate. Can't try me. Don't, bro. Try.
And I also think another thing that makes interracial dating difficult is the family that you're going to be married into if it gets that far. Do you know what I mean? Because how would you feel if your partner's family was racist?
Yeah, I mean, I
not even racist, but just ignorant.
Yeah, no, I dated a guy once, and he was like, if my grandmother was allowed, we wouldn't be able to date. And I was like, my gosh, it's different.
Do you know, white people are so comfortable in telling you how racist their relatives
are. Exactly. You tell me that I'm not going to look at your family the same again. I'll always go to your house thinking you don't want me here. That's how it's going to feel.
How would you feel in that situation if you knew like his family is?
I couldn't date someone, because at the end of the day, for me, my family is very important to me. That if I was dating someone and if my family said to me, I don't like someone, but their reason was stupid, then I'd be like, okay, you guys are chatting the most to them. But if they had like a genuine reason, and for some people, race is a genuine reason for them. Do you know what I mean? I could not be in that situation, because at the end of the day, even if they picked me, I've made you choose between your family and me, and I wouldn't put someone in that situation, because I would always pick my family over a guy. 100%. So
And
No
that's a
doubt.
lot.
I wouldn't bother dating someone if the family didn't like me being black. It's too much effort. It's
And also
when
the
you're planning your wedding.
like, it's
Is
why am I country bag?
What am I doing? Racism, slavery.
Yeah. And why are you putting me through this experience where people are looking down on me of my race?
I
Like,
do not deserve that.
Exactly.
What's her name? Ashley Graham girl. Is that her name?
Yeah.
the
And
model.
yeah, her parents are racist and they don't let her husband sit at the same table as them.
No.
Like, why are you doing this to this poor
Why are
man?
you doing exactly? Why are you putting yourself in that position and then you go home and be crying? Who sent you a
Why would
message?
you?
I think if you love someone, you shouldn't traumatize them.
Aren't they married and have a kid and everything?
Married, aren't they?
And she said it was a teachable moment for her parents. I'm like, what the hell?
No,
Someone's
because
life
it's
is
not like they did it and stopped. They are still doing it, so it's not lessening. They haven't learned nothing.
I have no interest in being a teacher. Go learn on your own.
Don't want to be.
Can you imagine when they invite you to an event and you're the only black person to walk in, everybody's what's gonna happen then?
I have been there. It's not nice, you know, not shush or whatever. I've been to one too many places when it's just me, a black person, or one other person, like an Asian person, or like, you know,
Yeah.
it just makes you feel so uncomfortable. And then like in my experience, no one ever said anything. People were lovely and kind, and like no one made me feel like I was an outsider. But I felt like an outsider. Nobody did look at me.
Saying that as well, it works the complete other way as well. When they're like, "Oh my god, you're dating a black," you know, like they're not talking bad, but they're like, "Oh my god, your hair is so beautiful, your skin is so," and you're just like, "Oh my god, can you just focus on the event of the moment, please, and leave me the fuck alone." Honestly, it is hard. Like honestly, even like online dating and stuff, like ridiculous. Like,
what do you think of the controversial topic, or people think that when it comes to, we're all black, so we will focus on black. When it comes to black and white people dating, white women and black men kind of don't make the best of relationships, whereas vice versa, it works. Do you agree with that, or do you think that's all trash?
I genuinely feel that when a white woman dates a black man, she becomes too comfortable in the black
hell
hole.
yes.
She feels like black all of a sudden. And I'm like, listen,
yes.
They get way too comfortable and they say things and they do things that is
but why are they getting too comfortable? Because he's not putting her in line.
That's the thing though. And
you need to check them out, brothers. Check them out.
Yeah, because if I'm dating someone and he says something, I'm like, excuse me, hello, are you all right, bro? Is everything okay at home?
And also, do you know what? I say this all the time, and I am so happy. I take great pleasure in the fact that most people don't try me. No, people who know me, like, don't say whatever bullshit comes to their mind to me. Yeah, and I've always been like that. Boys I'm dating, no one really comes and spats out rubbish.
Exactly, yeah, no, they know.
And the few that do, I'm like, calm down.
Exactly.
The few that do are that's just them. That's their nature to provoke people. But no,
like I said, some people just get too comfortable. They think that because we're friends or I know you, you can say like you're allowed to say these things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I feel like Najma, it's like not even just like in the dating world. I feel like some black men, I won't say all, some black men with their white friends have even gotten comfortable to be using the N-word and
they've been giving out the N-word like it's coins, but my black friend lets me say it, but my black boyfriend lets me say it. I don't give a shit.
Songs when they're like, oh yeah, but I'm just singing. I'm like,
Lola and I were once with this girl and we were listening to some song and the N-word came up. Lola and I didn't even know the song, so we're just minding our business. And this girl is like, da, 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 da. And me and Lola were like, hold up a second. And she was like, but my boyfriend is black and he lets me say it. I was like,
this is why I say white women and black men, red flag.
And another thing that makes it a red flag is that your reasoning for dating a white woman should not have anything to do with black girls. Date them when you're on, terms, but you don't have to bring us down.
We always chat something like, no.
Why are you dating a white woman? Because black women are allowed. Did I ask you why you don't date black women?
It's not that, because I find that when a black guy dates a white woman, is he always wants someone that he can not control, but he knows that there's certain things that he can say. If he says to a black girl, that's it, we're kicking off. Do you know what I mean? They have a personality that only a white woman will handle.
White women let them get away with so much bullshit.
Exactly. And they know that because they know that there's certain things that they could never, ever try with a black girl and they would never get away with it. None.
But that puts me off that kind of guy though, because if you're saying, like, I want to go for this girl because she's going to let me get away with bullshit.
Honestly, and I don't mean this as an insult or anything or criticism towards white women, but white women are gentler. Like, they kind of let...
They don't make, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like they don't make
your ground. It's a lack of a backbone.
Or even it's like sometimes something upsets them. They don't say it out in the open, you know, like, oh, so if something upsets us, I'm going to tell you straight up there and then. But you know, some girls will go to their friends and their man doesn't even know they're upset about it. Do you know what I mean? And they're crying, which is why he thinks it's okay for him to keep doing that. Do you know what I mean? But even with the whole black guys dating white girls, you know, they want someone that they can control or whatever. It's not necessarily that they know that they're even doing it. It's just sometimes they might not even realize, but it's just they like the fact that they say, oh, I'm going out. The girl just like, oh, okay, you know, black girl will be like, hey, where you going? Who you going where? Asking all these questions, you know? And I feel like sometimes it's like they're dating their mom all over again, you know? And that's probably how they feel.
It's just, I think any black men dating white women, there's nothing wrong with it. But I think just make sure you don't drag black women through the mud.
Exactly. And that's what most of them do, you know? Majority of them will say black girls are this, black girls are loud.
And I feel like some white women should be offended when men say, like, because white girls are easy.
If I ask my white fiance, why don't you date? Why are you dating a black woman? And he tells me about all the rubbish things about white women, I'll be like, oh, calm down. Or he says, oh, because black girls are easy. Oh my, he would not know what hit him.
He just wouldn't wake up one day. What are you talking about? He would just not. I'll make sure everything is fine. Okay, you go to sleep.
I feel like a lot of white girls, the ones that I see anyways, are quite comfortable. And they be like, oh, the boys I date, they don't date black girls because black girls are loud. And you're like,
how are you telling me this as a black? Do you want me to stand on your head?
No, they actually do say it very confidently and loud as well. Like, black, sorry,
and it's not even that. Even if you think that, don't tell white people that because then they belittle us.
But then again,
if we're hearing it from another black person, it must be true. Do you know what I mean?
White women don't rate black men as well as they rate white men either.
They really don't. To be honest,
it's a bad combo. And what's that? I saw this girl that said, as a white woman, it's not that difficult, or it's not a compliment when you get a black man, or when you get like black man to compliment you. But when you get a white man, you know you're the it.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw something similar.
White woman said that.
Yeah.
I saw something similar as well.
Her black boyfriend, may I add.
I said something like that. I saw something like that as well, and it was like, oh, it's easy. Black boys always like white women because look at their race or something similar. In other words, it's like, yeah, you know, we always get white men. We can always get black men. I mean, and it's like, okay, but what made you think that? Like, what made you?
But it's true though. It's true that she said it. It's not really that deep. It's not that hard to get attention from a black guy if you're a white girl. But
do you think when it comes to black women, when it comes to black men, their standards for black women are too high?
Very much so. They want us to be saints, they're mothers.
Yeah, this is exactly. So I literally, my friend and I always used to speak about this all the time, that like, I genuinely draw closer to white men. I date majority of white men only because black men want you to act some kind of way. And it's like, if I ended up with a black guy, we'll kill each other in the house because they want me to be this godly, don't go out all the time. Even if they're young, you might get away with it when you're young, but when you get to a certain age, you're still going out partying, they'll be looking at you somehow, their parents are looking at you somehow. It's just toxic. Do you know what I mean? It's a relationship that's not going to go anywhere, because at the end of the day, the way I see it is that they're gonna behave in a relationship the way they saw their fathers in a relationship. And you have to think about how our like African fathers of our age behave. If that makes sense. They're very like, you can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. And even though the boys now are young, they're still going out drinking, they're going to get to an age where they don't want their wife doing that.
Yeah.
I plan on being at the club till 40, so so it's just not going to work out. My friend.
That's what it is. And I feel like even like appearance-wise, they want black girls to look a certain way. They want us to be
the way that exactly. this is the kind of wife you have to bring home. I don't have time. I can't be doing that mother-in-law, in-law bullshit, rubbish. I can't. Where it's like, your wife does this and she doesn't do this. She's always drinking. No.
But do you know what? When it comes to marriage and things like that, African men, especially not all Black men, but African men, majority African men end up marrying an African woman.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. It's very, like, especially when if they start dating at a young age, you know, those like 18, 19 couples, and they're dating, and the girl's like, oh, my husband, my boyfriend, I'm looking at them like.
So white women need to actually connect those dots and think this man, because African mothers, do you know what? African mothers, nobody's good enough.
Exactly. And saying that is all mothers, but African mothers are different. They are different. You bring somebody that's one little bit out of the ordinary, and you're having an issue for the rest of your life.
So the boys, when it comes to marriage, you can need someone who's been brought up by that kind of idea is the only one who will do. You want to be like, you might be a crazy person outside, but when we are around elders, we are very polite, kind
Exactly.
You don't want your girlfriend or wife getting hammered in front of your mom, your African mother. That is it.
Exactly, man. How are you going to explain that? How do you explain that to your mother? Obviously, just look up fast and why not?
But what do you guys think about if you can't be pro-Black if you're dating outside of your race?
That's bullshit.
Do you think?
100%. 100%.
Okay, being pro-Black, right? I kind of see the argument. I'm on the fence with this one, right? I was talking about it with my sister. Being pro-Black is basically all about extending the Black race and growing the Black race. And you know what I mean? By everything, investing into Black people. 100%. So if you're marrying outside of your race, are you ready?
Yes, brothers and sisters, I'm bringing the white man's money to us.
I can't cope with you. You kill me. I completely think that whole...
Can you really be pro-Black and talking about...
No, because at the end of the day, I think it's just because you're pro-Black, just because I'm dating someone that's white doesn't mean I don't support my race. At the end of the day,
you're for Black rights. You're for Black rights. But you're not about extending.
What's to say that my partner isn't also pro-Black? You don't have to be Black to be pro-Black.
Amen.
Do you know what I mean? Because but then again, saying that, you don't have to be. I just feel like with the whole culture appropriation, some people are scared to like do certain things because they're scared people are going to call them out. There's a lot of people that are white that are pro-Black. You don't have to. So saying that, I can't say dating outside of my race is not being pro-Black, because my partner could be just as pro-Black as I am. He could do all the things, support Black, support Black business.
I don't believe in that.
I think we're all for Black rights. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're dating outside of your race,
I think I'm pro-Black.
No, because you're saying extending.
Sharon, okay, being pro-Black, I spend my money on Black. Honestly, and you guys know, I am very much Black is my identity. It's one thing that I'm so proud of. I'm like, I must have been a saint in my previous life, because to come back as a Black woman,
it's a blessing.
So, but me, like, and my children, and I have every intent in bringing up my children as Black.
100%. Definitely.
But you having mixed race kids, you've voted.
However, but still not less Black. They are more.
They're going to marry white.
Yeah, but who's
Black
say they
race
are? Okay, yeah, but somewhere down the line, somebody's still gonna marry a Black person. So say, for
example, Black race is not dying out. That's a whole continent of us.
Exactly. And if you think,
just go by the definition of pro-Black, by definition, and it makes me feel, oh God. By definition, I think I would agree that if you're dating outside of your race.
No, I think it can be pro-Black. And I would understand not being pro-Black if I was going out of my way. If I said, I do not date Black men, I only date white men, I only date Indian men, then that I get. But
if a good brother comes my way, who the hell am I to say no to that?
Amen.
Hell, I see one
I don't like this
I
conversation.
see an OV look alike. Am I gonna be like, I'm sorry, now, excuse me, I'm jumping on your head?
I don't like this conversation because what? We all are for interracial dating,
Yeah.
you know,
We hope.
and I am for Black rights. But if being pro-Black is nothing to do about Black rights, then I suppose.
I think that's a definition that needs to be changed.
But should an idea be so tightly closed? Can it not? The idea that you can't, it's a subjective thing being pro-Black. It's something within you as a person. So it should,
Exactly.
the definition really depends on how you feel and what you contribute. You can be pro-Black and buy from white stores.
Exactly. Like we're not going to stop talking in Zara, Primark, all those places. Like you can't say you're pro-Black and, you know, if you want to support Black businesses, fine. But then because you support Black businesses, you can't shop other places.
Sometimes you can't afford to support Black businesses.
It's not even that. That's ridiculous considering that we live in a European country. You have to
really go out of your way to.
Because I remember when I first moved to. When I was younger, I lived in Ireland, and my mom used to say to me all the time, "Oh, you have to date a Black guy." And she used to go on and on and on and on about how. And I said to her, I was like, "Listen, you brought me to this country. When I leave my house, the first person I see is a white man. So where, how, like, what is the correlation? There's a lot more white people in this town than there are. Like, just because we live in a European country, you have to be able to adapt. So being pro-Black, if you're saying, oh, you have to support Black businesses, you know, like Najma said, sometimes you can't afford it. Some of them are hella expensive. I'm a student here. Listen, put my hands up that I look at the prices and I'm like, the hell is this?
Right. So here it says that the definition is a development of Black people as a whole with the purpose of increasing the wealth and population of Black people. So if we are,
my birthdays are going to increase the population of Black people.
Yeah,
so I've had a lot of talks and they're saying like you should be dating with purpose. That if you are pro-Black, yeah, it is your intention to marry another Black person.
No, so you're not marrying because you fell in love with someone. You're not marrying because you want to be happy.
No, it's
marrying because I'm pro-Black. So I'm gonna date a Black guy.
That's a lot of responsibility to put on a person's shoulder. Like,
so I'm not gonna date.
And the argument is other communities do it. Sikh people do it. Asian people do it.
Based on religion. Because that's mostly based on religion. Religion and race are two completely different things, mate. Because Muslim people, for example, would date a woman that's not Muslim and expect her to convert. She could be white, but they expect her to convert. So they're not saying that she's pro. Do you know what I mean? So race and religion are completely different.
But those people do date within their communities because they're so like guarded of that.
But is that a good thing though?
That's another topic. If it's a good thing,
I don't know, because at the end I understand religion is a bit.
I think people who are so pro-Black, like the Dr. Umars or
I do not want to be no Dr. Umar.
But like people who are so pro-Black, they are honestly, it's almost like a little religion for them, you know.
Exactly, and it makes them look crazy. Like, some of the things they look crazy.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, I am not a prophet. I do not have the responsibility in spreading the Black gene. It's not my I would marry the person I fell in love with. Would I rather marry a Black man that I don't like, I don't love, or that I live in suffering because I'm extending the Black gene and bring out children who are born out of hatred that become a burden to society, or marry the white man that I love and bring up adults?
Again, it comes down to how you raise your children. If you have mixed children, for example, and you raise them and they do not know anything about their Black culture, then yeah, I get why that wouldn't be so Black. But my kids are growing up and they're going to speak Yoruba better than they can speak English. They're going to eat only Nigerian foods. So I don't understand how that wouldn't be considered pro-Black. Because at the end of the day, even though
definition is too harsh. Definition is too harsh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It needs to be. There needs to be a little bit there.
Give me a bloody wiggle room.
People like don't love themselves if they marry outside. When it's beside that, it's just that you're.
But it's just
for example, if you are a Black person and you're pro-Black, but you live in an area, say where you're the only Black person in that town, so you're not going to marry.
No.
And also,
We're gonna die
I
soon.
don't know why they act like the black race is dying out. We really not. And
We're not dying out in any way
I have a
whatsoever.
problem with African Americans. They think black people are African Americans, nobody else. Therefore, they have to do everything to kind of protect this community, which they should. Fair enough, protect your community. But blackness is beyond African American.
African American, yeah.
I think if you live in America,
America
you see a lot of
outside of America.
You might think about it that way.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I understand their struggles 100%. But to some extent, you need to realize that it's a fraction of black people there.
There's a whole Africa. Yeah, but Americans don't know that anywhere else exists.
The black race is not dying out. It's really not. If anyone should worry, it's the white people who have one baby and that is it.
Yeah.
We're having 10 20s, mate.
It's not dying out anytime soon, mate.
We're not going anywhere.
This conversation makes me feel uncomfortable because it makes a lot of people feel like shit, you know? But it did make me think, I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to be really careful moving forward now. But it made me think about, it is true, like who you date is who you've chosen to date, because you've said yes, you've opened that door up to them, you know? So if you are all about pro-blackness and then you...
Pro-black doesn't mean anti everyone else.
Exactly, and that's why people,
it means that
the kind of conversation that make people think, oh, the whole white lives matter thing, because the way you're saying pro-black is like, oh, only black people can date black people. Obviously, do you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't mean because pro-black I can't date someone else, like, oh yeah, you're not black, so I can't touch you, I can't even know that. Because at the same time, it's like the same way dating, why can't I have white friends? I can't keep myself around white people, do you know what I mean?
But then, Sharon, I think your life becomes very small if I only talk to black people because I'm going to date.
No, that's too extreme. They're not saying you only talk to black people.
But if I can't date someone that's white, why can't I keep any other race in my circle? If I can date someone, if you're saying pro-black means not dating outside of my race, that means I shouldn't be able to.
I love Dr. Ma. He makes me laugh, but the man is crazy.
He's not the only one. I promise you, if you YouTube pro-black, these conversations are wild. They'll make you think a type of way, like, oh.
100%, agree, 100%. Yeah, wild. And you just sit and think, is this the way people really think?
No, I think, but then it makes mixed race children feel like shit.
It does. Exactly.
At least the black person chose to date this or marry this white or Asian or whatever fellow. But the people who are mixed race, who were born into that, did not choose. And you're being told that you are now a burden to the society.
Yeah, especially if they're hearing this whole pro-black thing, they're going to think, oh, so people didn't want my parents. You know, my parents weren't, you know, it's going to make them look a bit.
It's also important to highlight, just because some black couples are together does not mean they are also pro-black, because there's a lot of people out here holding us back as a race.
Exactly. That's true.
So,
I agree. That's true.
Why the conversation gets a bit...
It's mucky. There's always
a little bit of there should be a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to all these little things.
There is. It can't just be black and white when it comes to like these things. It's like I can't go and marry any black person at the same time because
exactly. And that's the thing. As long as you know, you know your culture, you know where you're from, and you support and you love and appreciate your race. It doesn't matter what you do and who you hang out with, who you date, who you marry, as long as at the end of the day, you are being true to yourself and your race. You know what I mean?
And I think we need to teach our children our cultures. And we
I hate the most is when I see mixed race kids and they do not know their African culture. Oh my God, that irritates me so much.
Where are you from?
Yeah.
I'm English. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not African. If they're going to deport us, listen, you're on the boat with us, fam. If they say no more African people, you are on that boat with us. What are you talking about? You're not keeping you here.
It is so important to teach your kids.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
1000%. It is super important.
I would say about interracial dating, it's not easy. It's really not. It's no walk in the park.
It is not a walk in the park at all. Like there are literally guys that want to get with you just so they can say, I got with the black girl. Am I something on the bucket list? Am I something?
Even beyond that, even when you're like, if you like in a long-term relationship, there's still misunderstandings. There are things here and there. There's like like for me, I love my fiance, but it breaks my heart that he will never be able to speak to the people I love the most because they do not speak the same language.
Yeah, 100%. Like, see, luckily for me, English is the first language in my family anyway. Everyone, so that's not a.
So it is like it's difficult, and it's a lot to navigate, and not just with us as well, with them too. They have their own issues, their own families, that they do things their way, and it's a kind of a process that you just have to kind of grow, and you have to have a thick skin.
Yeah,
you have to be patient as well.
On both sides of the race as well.
And not because people are racist or anything, but as I said earlier, you find yourself the only person who looks like you.
Yeah, and it's not even just Black people, because it's the same as, like, for example, if I was getting married to a white guy, it's going to be all majority, and our partners are going to feel out of place when we bring them into our side of the family. You know, so it's not just on our part.
Yeah,
it's also on their part as well. So it's not easy. It is a lot harder, especially like being African, where marrying into your tribe matters, or your culture is a big deal. You know, like some people are like Nigerians, for example, Nigerians, Igbos, and Yorubas. Like, you're Nigerian, just different tribes. Is it taboo? Like,
in Somalia, even like any tribe would not do. It has to be approved by my family. So there's a lot of things that you like. You have to consider. But I think if you fall in love with someone and they're treating you with respect, their race shouldn't matter really. Wherever they're from, that's where I stand. And I always say I find all humans attractive. I cannot say I'm attracted to one race specifically. I've dated men of all nationalities and races.
Yeah, 100%. Especially living in Europe, like, you can't say I only want to date Black people, or I only want to date this race, because we live in a country where, especially in England, do you know what I mean, where majority of people are bloody from everywhere all over the world. Like, I came from Ireland. I only heard a Jamaican accent when I moved here 3 years ago. I was shocked. I was baffled. In Ireland, there's not that many Black people, obviously, and all the Black people know each other. So it's a bit weird dating in the Black pool, because it's like you date someone and your friend has brothers, or your friend has got with this person, or this one's got with this person. So it's a lot harder to date within your race there. And everyone knows this. I used to date white. Everyone in Ireland knows this. I used to date white people back home because I just couldn't deal with people talking about my shit.
Lola once said, "What would I do if I am with a white man and he says you Black this and that?"
Oh my God, that was my worst nightmare. Oh my God, this is my worst nightmare. Shara, listen to this. Imagine you're getting with a white guy, right? And
I don't want to, because I'm picking up right now.
Like, he thinks is kinky. And says something like, "Oh yeah, you Black slave." Where do you go from there? That is literally my worst nightmare. Do you know how frequently I think about this thing? Oh my God. That's
No, you're not the only one. I think about those things.
That is my worst. I literally was saying to Nat, I was like, I don't know if I would kill him, or like, I actually don't even, I feel like I would just kill you in the bed. Like, I would just have to smother you with the pillow, because I don't know where we would go from there.
Bro.
That, you know, every time, I'm not even, especially when it's like, I don't know if this guy's dating me because he actually likes me, or it's like a fetish for him. And then one day you had a few drinks, everyone's feeling tipsy, a bit drunk, and he just.
Halle Berry was getting called a nigger in front of her kids. And I'm like, this disrespectful. Beyond disrespectful.
What's her name? Actually, some of this woman, what's that? Is it Tamara? Tamara's husband is a well-known racist. He's openly.
Well, I'm dating a white Indian man or whoever who's not Black, and you've got problematic tweets about. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, no,
it's
even when they say, "Oh,
I know you've changed," but the world doesn't know you've changed.
No, it's not even that. It's like,
he hasn't changed.
The only reason he's saying sorry is because Twitter is making him. That's the only reason he's saying sorry.
The thing is, if I am an actual clown,
it's embarrassing.
Like, if I'm a clown and I let this white man call me whatever he wants or talk to me however way he likes, I would keep that to myself. I'll be like, okay, I'm an idiot, but can you keep it out of the public's eye, please? Don't embarrass me.
Exactly. If you want to say that, say it to me. Don't put it out in public, mate. Do not put that out in public, because I'm gonna look like an idiot.
You know what I mean? Christmas time, all your aunties and moms and grandparents are looking at you like,
Exactly. Look at this one. You know, African parents look at dark people.
You know? Now my kids can't play with their cousins because it's
Exactly. Her husband says.
Yeah, if I choose to be that kind of a backless cockroach, we are moving where there's nobody knows me, sees me, and you might as well put me in a dungeon, mate, because what else is left?
Tie me up, let me be your slaves. That's what you like.
I suppose interracial dating is for the strong because
it's for the strong. You have to have a hard heart, mate. It is for the strong. Because even if you're part,
though it's something that should be so beautiful and
I've
celebrated.
heard so many horrible things. There was this woman, and I think she sounded Somali. She said she's East African, Muslim, lives in Minnesota, which all Somalis live in America. Yeah. And her husband is, they have like grown children, and she realized her husband was racist because his own children called him out.
Oh my goodness. Mad. Mental. Imagine finding out your parents are racist though. It's mental. I don't know what I would do for them.
The marriage will have to end.
It has to end.
It's going to be in a graveyard 6 feet under.
That's me. You know me. I'm all about violence. I'm always on smoke. I don't have time to talk. I'm killing you, fam. I don't have time to conversate.
I remember reading this article once saying that my fiance, when we're in the bed, he calls me nigger bitch, and I was gobsmacked.
Murder. I will kill you and call the police myself.
And that's their king. They play a slave and a master. And I'm like, you know, that's why Dr. Omel doesn't like. Those are the ones embarrassing us.
That's it. That's the thing. That's why some people feel confident and they can say whatever they feel like they want to say. No, thank you. No, keep it to yourself. Thanks. Thank you very much for that.
There has to be a line. There has to be a line.
Yeah, and this article, she was like, oh, when we're in bed, we like to play slave and master, and he calls me this and that. And I was like, why are you writing about this?
Exactly. Don't you have shame?
Sharing your embarrassment.
No, they don't have shame. A lot of people don't have shame.
They don't have shame more. I have a lot of shame, thank you. My pride is
rather hang myself than be publicly embarrassed.
How are you writing about that article? Like, what is wrong with you? Oh my God. And you can't just, and you can imagine, like, what is her husband like on a day-to-day basis? He's probably the most racist person you meet in your whole entire life. And then he'll say the line, but my wife lets me say that. Am I your wife?
But do you know what? Actually, that's different. You know what? The white women that this black boys are dating are not, yes, they might say the N-word and this and that, or they might have like racist undertones. But this white man, this racist white men who date black women are violently racist.
They are the worst.
They're dangerously racist.
They are the worst. Yeah, the racist white men. But it's like, why are you dating so like?
I was gonna ask, like, why do you think makes people get into that relationship?
It's a
like what makes you date someone that you don't agree with their race? Like what makes? I don't get it.
Do you know what? When you're dating someone who's not black and they tell you talk about black people all the time, that is a get out.
I don't understand why someone would.
But what would make someone continue? Because it can't be insecurity, can it?
Well, this woman who was writing this article, not the one, the crazy one, but the other one who was like, she was asking, actually, is my husband racist? I just noticed it because our children are saying he is. And she was like, he always told me I was beautiful, but whenever I talked about black this, and he would always tell me like, no, black people are not all that. Or he said he hated the Black Lives Matter movement, or he did all of this.
Oh my God, my soul hurts. Listen to that. I can't.
And she was like, and people were like, yeah, your husband is bloody racist, mate. Yeah, she was like, oh, their eldest child is 25 years old, what to do? I don't know. I was reading this board and I thought, my.
Yeah, because isn't it the same with the people who were trumping the Capitol in America or whatever? And some of them were married to black women. I just don't get it.
So it works both. Literally, the scale is wild because white women that date black men think they're black. Mm-hmm. Some white men date black women and hate
slaves.
The black race. So it's like, it's just this big weird. It's just this big weird, like, I don't know, like, is it the man wants power or the woman is insecure? Like, what's the...
I will not say who, but someone we know, Lola and I, we're having a conversation, and the word gollywog, they're called gollywog, isn't it? Those weird dolls.
Yeah.
Came up. And this woman said, ooh, when I was younger, I used to love gollywogs. maybe that's why I only date black men. And she is a grown woman, like her child is having a child.
Yeah, and like obviously that was something. It's like saying, oh yeah, like I used to play with this when I was slave dolls when I was younger. Maybe that's why I like to date black men. Like,
and I was like, oh, shocked.
To be honest, there is a lot of people surrounding us in Najma that say some certain things sometimes that me and Najma just look at each other like.
They don't realize what they're saying is wrong.
But that's what I'm saying, is because we allow them sometimes to get too comfortable with us. So they say one thing and we laugh it off, ha 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 ha. They say,
you might be too shocked to say anything.
And I made a vow to never not say anything.
That's usually me and Najma. Whenever they say stuff, me and Najma just look at each other like.
I made a vow to myself to not just laugh it off and say, I don't know this person, whatever. You say anything racist in front of me and Lola are like, did you hear what she said?
Yeah, we'll look at each other like, did we hear that?
Make it uncomfortable for you.
Sometimes it's really uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you're like...
The one thing I do not joke with...
I'm shocked and take it back.
My race and my family. Ask my friends, they'll tell you the only time I've ever gotten into fights on a night out is somebody's brought my race or my family member out.
Oh, that was black.
I kid you not. I am like a wolf. I don't know what comes over me. I'm ready to attack. I don't fight. I do not fight. I'm a peaceful person. I like to ignore, keep it pushing. But when you bring up my race, you see a difference.
It's a trigger. Like, if you are dating someone who's racist, really, this is not just white people, right? If any non-race person tries to offend black people, they cut. Oh my God, they cut deep.
Yeah, 100%. The first thing they go for is our race.
You tell this white person, oh my God, white people are crazy, and the next thing you know,
N-word.
You're being called a slave to go pick cotton.
Like, what is the correlation? And that's why I always say is that, you believe
this conversation is too much for me.
You believe in the whole thing where they say black people can't be racist.
Black people
you know when people say black people can't be racist?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that?
To the extent that those people can.
But yeah. I always use the example, what you said, when there's an argument, white people are quick to bring up race. They are quick to bring up our race. A black person will never, what's our own with your race? We will never. I'll come for everything else about you, but your race has nothing to do with the way you are as a person.
And also, whatever I might say like, oh my God, white people are crazy. Oh my God, what's wrong with them? This woman is looking at you and my ancestors, let them lie. What's going on with you?
Why are you bringing my ancestors into this? Leave them alone.
I just don't think it's the same though, you know?
Not on the same level. It is bringing a gun to a knife.
Exactly. It's true. I've always said this, they are quick to bring up your race. Very, very, very quick to bring up your race.
Yeah. Do you know them ones when let's say, especially in customer service, and you're looking at them and you're like, if I do one thing wrong, I know he's gonna try me. I know this. He's gonna bring.
That's bad. I don't know why at work Najma deals with all the idiots that come in because she has the patience for it. She deals with all the crazy people that come in. Always want to say something about your race.
You know, when I tell this to my non-black colleagues, they don't understand. I'm like, this man, I don't want, or this woman, I don't really want to work with them or help them because I make one mistakes and my race is being cast out. Therefore, and they'd be like, why? He was fine. She was fine. I'm like, yeah, to you, mate. To you.
To you. To you. Because you're not me. You're not black.
Y'all don't get it. No, but honestly, they are so, I don't know what it is with them. Any small argument.
Yeah, it's the first thing. What do you guys think about people, about like, is it interreligion?
Interracial dating.
Is that even harder than interracial dating?
100%.
100%. That is 1,000,000% harder. 1,000,000% harder to date than interracial, because that is something at the end of the day that is your choice. Your religion is your choice at the end of the day. Your race isn't. For example, if I wanted to date a white person and if I could change my race to be white to fit in better, do you know what I mean? Like, you could do it. But your religion, you can choose. If you date someone that's Muslim, you could pretend to be Muslim to his family. They will be none the wiser. None the wiser. Do you know what I mean? If your boyfriend's Muslim, you bring him to a Christian home, his parents will be none the wiser. But my race, I can't hide it.
True, you can okay, in that aspect, you can fake it for the other person's family.
Exactly.
In that way, interracial dating is harder than interreligion. But I think,
because at the end of the day,
if you are the religious person, if you are the one who religion matters to, impossible.
It's impossible. It's not going to happen. You're not even.
And that's what pisses me off. If it matters to you that much, why are you dating outside of your religion?
That's just dumb, innit?
Yeah.
Stop forcing your shit on top of people's shit. Like, come on now, stick to what you know.
Most of the time, though, it's not usually the person; it's the family. It's the family.
There are people. There are no. Actually, I know loads of people who they marry someone and they like someone. They be like, you have to convert now.
Or the children
and they were okay with it prior.
Yeah. And when it's time to get married or have children, you have to convert now, mate.
Or they raise the children. Oh, the children are going to be Christian. No, they're going to be Muslim. Listen, all these religion board. Listen, I don't understand because
I think unless both of you are on board together, that religion is just doesn't matter to you that much. It's just family, and you can fake it, as Lola said. But if you personally, two people who religion matters to,
not going to work.
No.
Walk away.
Not going to work.
Yeah. Walk away from each other. Stop pretending like it's going to be hard.
You're Muslim and you're Hindu and you're Sikh and everyone else.
Exactly.
It's not going to work. Yeah. Especially when kids come and get involved.
Exactly.
If you have an idea for your children, if you want to raise your children a certain way, even the person who doesn't give a shit about religion, when it comes to their children, they'll be like, but now I want them to be an atheist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's everything is all fun and games when it's just the two of you. It's always kids. Yeah, you need to be. And people be like, yeah, it's fine, but it's until the child gets here.
Same as interracial dating, when you want to give them African names. But my family can't see that. Well, that's their personal problem, innit? It's exactly the same.
Not to be rude, but I don't think I'll be giving my children white names.
No. So why? So don't tell me if I'm gonna give my kid a white name, it's going to be a name that's not modern day white per se. So maybe something that's like biblical or, that's been around for years and years and years. That has
his family, or a name in his family,
Yeah, exactly. Or it has some meaning to it. But I feel, and I always say this to people, and I was like, Black people, it's very, very rare that they give their child a name that just means something. Like they just like the name. Do you know what I mean?
People consult a book. Why are you looking at a book to name your child?
So yeah, exactly. They just see a name like, oh yeah, this thing, Lucy. I love it. No, how are you gonna get like Nigerian people always give their children names to do something with something that means something. Does that make sense? So for example, my name's Omalola, which means my child is my wealth. And I got my name because at the time when my mom was pregnant, my father got a good job.
There you go.
Which is where my name came from. So it's very, very rare to meet a Nigerian person that just has a name because their parents love to name.
You shouldn't have a name.
Huh?
I think you've not seen me around with a child called James or Jack.
Or Lucy or Lily.
Come on, Lily. It's just
especially the fact that our kids are going to be either Black or mixed. I just feel like there's a certain, I don't know, it's just gonna look odd.
If my future husband is Black and my child is out here called Poppy, like someone is cut me in the face. Like, what am I?
It just doesn't look right. Do you know what I mean? Especially, it just doesn't look right. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't. It just has this weird, like a vibe to it. And for me, as weird as it's gonna sound, I'm gonna see that child and think, you definitely don't know your African roots, man. Do you know what I mean?
And you cannot blame them. You call them Poppy.
Exactly. And they're like, hey, Poppy. Especially with the English accent as well, not absolute on top. My name is Poppy.
No, I think with everything you do, interracial dating, interreligion dating, whatever you're dating, if you're dating to marry, consider the other person. If your family are racist, don't take them into that kind of
I think, yes, if your family is racist, leave someone alone, okay? They do not deserve to go for.
Why are you coming in my lane knowing that your parents are like me? Why are you disturbing my peace?
You're disturbing someone's peace. Yeah, you really are.
And then you know what the worst bit is? They have the audacity to tell you, oh yeah, my parents don't really like Black people.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to tell you. White people do not find the word racist offensive because why are you telling me your mother's racist?
Okay, let's go have dinner with my parents. So you want me as a Black person coming to your house? No, never.
I'll be ashamed, I would not say out loud. If my family members I would not tell everyone I meet my family are racist. Like, what?
I would fight your battle in the house.
I'd fight your battle. I was gonna introduce you to them. Yeah, if the one want to introduce you to them, I'll definitely talk to my parents. Talk to your parents, bro. Don't talk to me.
Exactly.
The one with the problem.
I'd fight your battle. Before I bring you to the house, I'm telling my parents, listen, she's black. If you like it, that's your personal problem. If you don't like it, that's your personal problem. So this is the person I'm going to be with before I introduce you to my family. That's not a conversation you should be having after you introduce me to your family.
So. And I think it's important to be very realistic. Realistic. Like, be really realistic. Like, if I was to marry this guy, would I be okay if our kids are raised in this religion? Would I be okay if
my kids were dealing with this?
Your children don't speak your mother tongue.
Be very realistic. Very. Because it can happen. People change their minds when it comes to kids. So
yeah, if you are marrying someone, you're dating someone to marry, have children with them for the long run, you really have to assess. It's not just you. Exactly. You can choose your husband. Your children cannot choose their father or mother. Think.
Exactly, because especially with things like race, if your partner's family are racist or whatever, and your kids are growing up, if you do something, no, that's not how we're supposed to do it, or no, that's not how you say it, or no, we don't eat that here. And it's like, I'm trying to teach my children my culture. Shut the fuck up. Like, leave me alone. Mind your business. You know what I mean? And it's just things, even little things like that.
But you know what? It's not even, forget about race. In Somalia, different tribes, when they intermarry, it's still difficult, right? And this woman, and they always blame the woman for some reason. This woman who's not from this tribe, her children misbehave like all children do, and they'd be like, well, it's because of that woman, isn't it?
Yeah. How?
Mom didn't raise her right. The mom didn't bring her up properly.
Look what she's teaching them. Like, she's not teaching them anything.
I'm not teaching them anything. If the child wants to be bad, the child's going to be bad. No matter how strict I am on the child, if the child wants to move mad, they will move mad. Simple.
And that's facts.
Simple. That is facts. I know that from experience. I was that child.
That is fast. There's so many people out here. You meet their parents and they're the nicest people, and the child is running the street. The streets are mad.
You can't. It's actually like, and am I the only one that can always tell if you see a mixed race child who the parent is, which parent is white, which parent is black, just by looking at them?
When they're pro-black, their mom is black.
You always tell a child that has a black mom compared to a mixed race child that has a white mom. It's so
I suppose our mothers raised us, so what's important to our mothers is important to us.
Yeah,
exactly. We exactly, that's it. Because obviously, as a female, you're a daddy's girl up to a certain point.
But your mother is your mother.
But your mom is your mom. Yeah, don't you feel like as you grow, you turn into your mom as well?
Oh my god, every day.
I used to like my mom for getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to clean before work. I literally do this every weekend. I wake up in the morning and I'm cleaning the house before I go to work. And I'm like, am I normal? Is this normal behavior?
The thing that used to annoy my mom when I was younger, that I used to think, why does that annoy you? What's it got to do with you? Now someone breathes in a way I don't like. I'm like, what are you doing?
Excuse me, can you hold your breath, please? Hold your breath. If you want to die, die. That's your personal problem.
Yeah. and when they give up, you understand. It's like they're not gonna listen. Let me just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and clean it.
Honestly, every day that moves, I'm seeing my mother in me.
My brother and my sister say it to me all the time. It's like, I feel so sorry for your children. I'm like, yeah, I feel sorry for them too. I'm sorry for that. I feel like I'm going to be a strict mom, 100%. I see myself being a strict mom.
Oh my God.
So,
going back to interracial, know what you're getting yourself into.
100%. 100%.
Be realistic. Communicate.
Love who you love. And if you want to let black people dating black people, amazing. Beautiful. Black people dating everyone else, amazing.
Agree. There's red flags.
It's how you rate your kids, yeah.
Yeah, and just make sure they're not problematic, man.
You can always tell them. The signs are always there.
You do not wake up 25 years later.
The signs are always there.
They're always there.
Listen, how he talks about you and how he talks about different black girls, pay attention to that.
It's always there. Or if he says the lines of, oh, I have loads of black friends, oh my God, I've dated so many black women in the past, or, you know, I love this music. Oh
I always say this. Listen to a person, how they talk about other people like you, not just race. When a man chats bad about other women, that tongue will be reserved for you sooner or later.
Exactly, 100%. Because you don't. At the end of the day, you don't know what people say about you when you're not there.
Whatever you're saying about the people who are like you, Black, women, gay,
about you
right?
too.
Same things coming your way.
100%. 100%.
You're not an exception, Abu.
No.
You're not.
The red flags are always there. Always.
Yeah.
And if you are gonna choose to intermarry, then just, you know, be respectful of whatever you're marrying into. Like, Jesus Christ. Be open to learn about their culture. Don't just focus on yourself.
Yeah, that is a pet peeve of mine. If you're dating me and I make something, don't be like, ew, what's that?
Yeah.
You chose to date this person. So make it
open.
Exactly. You have to be open to culture. You have to understand that what you eat and what our culture eat are two completely different things.
Yeah.
You have to be open to embrace culture.
And you know what? Don't force. It's not just white people, because like a lot of Somali people, don't force people to convert to religion.
At the end of the day,
when you chose to date this white person, you knew what they were. So if you wanted a person of that religion, you should have gone that way. Now, don't change people.
Because the same way they're not forcing you to convert, you shouldn't be forcing them to convert. It's the same way. You can't just expect someone to change a religion because they want to be with you. The same way religion is important to you,
it's important to them.
Religion might be very, very important to them. So...
And if it's not, then you're lucky. But otherwise, let the person be, man.
Exactly. And when it comes to
kids, what the other person is important to them. Respect was important to them.
I had friends as well, like the whole religion thing. I had friends growing up and their parents used to take them to both mosque and church. So one weekend they would go to church, one weekend they would go to mosque, and then they just let them do their thing when they got older. They introduced them to both religions, and it wasn't like, no, you only have to go to mosque, or oh no, you only have to go to church. They let them every weekend, they kind of alternated. And then at the end, they let them, listen, if you want to be Christian, you know all about Christianity, you know all about Islam, down to you. And I think that's the best way to be, not where you force the religion down someone's throat. And then when they decide to be Christian,
something's important to you. Find someone else who finds that same thing.
That's important to them, exactly.
People make life complicated. Oh my God. Why you put yourself through this stress?
I always feel that some people, they love stress. They love it. Stress turns them on. I say honestly, some people love stress.
It's a headache.
Like, it's for me, being pro-Black is really important to me. I try to make a conscious decision to go shop with Black people. And when Matthew was looking birthday present or anniversary, whatever he's looking, he was going out of his way to find Black, Black business owners to get me what I wanted, because he knew how important that was to me.
Yeah. 100%, and that's important. So having a partner like that, and this is what I mean, having a partner like that, you cannot say that Najma is not pro-Black because she's dating a white man. Her partner is supportive of her race, and he understands her race, and he understands.
The definition is too horrible.
It's too strict. It's too strict. She has a partner that, though he's white, and he hasn't abandoned his white culture either.
No, he hasn't.
Super understanding and accepting of Black culture. So you can do certain things and he won't be like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that for me.
I don't even know if it's like a sacrifice, but you're just gonna have to, there's just gonna have to be moments where you're gonna have
I want to be with my partner where I do something, where I make something and they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Can I try it? Oh my God, do you know? And they're excited to learn. That for me is a good, and like a different race partner. That's a good partner. If you do something, they're willing to accept that, they're willing to try that, and they think it's, you know, like, oh my God, I want to learn, teach me, you know, like obviously people say we shouldn't have to teach people, how to not be racist, but we can teach people about our cultures, and that's how I see it.
Absolutely.
That's how I see it.
All right, should we wrap it up?
We can do it.
This has been a fun one.
Yes, 100%.
At the end of the day, interracial dating is not hard.
Huh?
Interracial dating is not really hard as people make it out to be. We just have to be respectful.
Okay. People make
and just be open-minded. You know,
exactly.
There are going to be challenges, but
there will be challenges, and as long as you know, basically, is it worth it? Is what you have worth it? And the challenges are not that major.
They're not that major. They're easily overcome.
Yeah, you have to kind of compare. If the challenges are his family downgrading you, then maybe not. It's not the relationship. It's not worth it.
At the end of the day, you can't change how people think.
Yeah.
Especially if they have a mindset of what they have in their head. You cannot.
And just all white people, when they get dementia and everything also, they forget everything else about how to be racist. So you need to remember those all kind of things, whether it's once in your life.
Forget. I can't believe
Don't forget that one, bro.
The right way.
They do not.
Right way.
But yeah, date who you want to date, honestly.
Yeah.
Interracial dating should be something beautiful, you know, we're all getting to know each other's cultures and
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. And we're expanding the gene pool, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Mixing the genes, you know, mixing the cultures. I believe today racism is not going to exist. That's what I
Yeah,
but once you decide to, just be, it's all about respect and
yeah.
Exactly.
But and also and white people got to stop saying I don't see race, and you look at last thing they comment
it's okay to see race, people.
I want you
Please
to see my race. Excuse me, look at this melanin skin. I want you to bloody notice it. I want you to see it.
It's okay. It's okay to see race, honestly.
I want you to see my race. Look at me. I'm black. I'm beautiful. I want you to see that. Thank you.
I don't see race. Is that your real hair?
Oh my God, stop. This is my answer for them. I'm like, do you really, this is what I think to them. Do you really believe that this is, when have you ever seen a black girl with, full black girl as well, with straight, when? Tell
Straight
me.
silky hair.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, it doesn't look like a wig. I'm like, you stop trying to fool me. I know you know it's a wig. Stop chatting rubbish.
Oh yeah, and it's, yeah, do you know what? If you are trying to learn, don't be like
Condescending.
Exactly.
You know, I appreciate you trying to learn about me and my culture and everything, but there's a line where it becomes a bit condescending.
Yeah, exactly. Where you pretend like you don't know what you're talking
We're
about.
not asking for much. We're just asking. Don't offend us. Don't belittle us. So let's wrap it up.
Yes, indeed. Date who you want to date, guys. Be with who you want to be with.
Yeah.
But be pro-black at the same time.
Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode. We really enjoyed. This was a heavy one, yet a fun one. We laughed too much. And Lola, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. I'm more than happy to join whenever, guys.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thank you.
And yeah, well, that was fun.
Until next week. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. We'll see you next week, and we'll stay messy.
Stay messy.
Bye.